computer is already have it installed, so it asked me, do you want to copy example again? So you don't need to do that. But if you click on that, that should be automatically setting the source file for you in the correct location. So you need to click on that one as first to have it set up, right? And once you click on this and have it run and complete, then we can jump into the first time we're trying to open the ASM IDE. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna stop like here for a while because I do believe that most of you guys will need to install the USB driver and have your PC reboot. So could you let me know in the participant that how many of you guys already able to install the USB driver, at least for now, and not reboot it yet?
I have it.
Okay. And by the way, yeah. So
when you order from the company will just let you download the USB port connector, like the software, from a website which is in Chinese. Actually, you can access it in English, so you can do that if you are using an ASM IDE actually.
Okay. Please give me a second. Okay. Actually, could you say again? Because I was on my laptop and the speaker sucks.
Okay, when you order the Dragon 12 Lite, which I did, the company will just send you an email which literally direct you what compatible USB drive that will help you transfer information through the USB. They will direct you to the website, which is in Chinese, and you can select the language in English, and you can simply just download the zip file and put it in your computer. It will automatically work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's a very good point too. So if you happens that you purchase it directly from the website and you're able to have that, it's definitely good to follow that route as well, as long as you can have your USB driver installed correctly. So either way, let me see in the participant how many guys already able to finish that. Okay, so it's still quite a little portion of the student. So if you haven't done it yet, please go to the Beachboard. At least go to the Beachboard. That would be one of the solution we can have right now. Go to this under the Beachboard page. Go to content and go to your subsection called software and drivers. And please go ahead and download and install this PL 2303 prolific USB driver, right? So please go ahead and do that step right now. And if you're not able to access to this page, please email me right away and I will send you the USB driver right away. Right?
Quick question for
Sure.
the Dragon 12P _G. Once we download that, what should we click to go ahead and?
So that should be a zip file. So you can just go ahead and right click and extract it if you have.
I extracted it, but what? There's like a bunch of files, so I'm wondering which one do you want me to click?
Okay, so once you have it set up, your file is probably going to look like this, right? Just like file. Yeah. So once you get into this step, you need to click on the setup BAT file over here.
Yeah.
Right. And then once you click on it, it will run several commands to basically set up the source file for you, and it should close. It should get done or close itself like very soon. And as you get to this point, I will say you're officially finished the first fold of the setup process for today, which is configure your COM port and having your USB driver installed. So if you already reached to that point, congratulations. Now you can start the second section of today's lab section, which is actually having your ASM IDE run. So you can, once you get done to this point, you can go ahead, try to open your ASM IDE. Okay, because right now the board is not, I'm not connecting the board to the program, so it will say cannot open a COM port. So it's fine. You can ignore that message right now. Click on OK. And once you get into the first time into the software, it should automatically prompt you to select the COM port configuration for your assembler. So that's where we gonna put the information we just gathered from the first step. And if it doesn't appear automatically, click on View and Options. And for here, you will see a few configurations you can do here. For example, COM port. And up to this point, you will need your Dragonfly board plugged in with USB, also with the PC with the power adapter. And then you need to select the correct COM number. In my case, it's COM1. Select it. It's not input right now, so it's gonna show invalid. But in your case, if your boards connect correctly, you should have no warning message right now.
Okay.
And you should also select this enable the terminal window. And once you have,
sorry, so I don't have my thing at the moment, so I imagine I probably can't do that step right now. But
yeah, okay.
to be able to see the COM port, like you said on the device manager, I need to reboot. Do you want me to do that now, or do you want me to wait until the end of the session?
Okay, so I think I'm just gonna stop the introduction for the lab right now for the student who just installed a USB driver but never get a chance to reboot the PC. So if you're already done installing, please reboot your PC right now and join back the Zoom meeting after you have it done. And I'm gonna stop the introduction right now. And if you guys have any question, this is basically a QA time right now. And once we have everyone basically back from the rebooting, we will start the next step, all right?
Okay,
so
thank you.
If you have any question, I don't mind you to go ahead to just unmute yourself or talk to me, or you can leave your comment in the chat, both way, okay?
I had a question, Samson, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
So, okay, there we go. So I originally purchased my board when Professor Wagdy sent out the first email where he didn't specify a version, and I got the Code Warriors version. Now I have everything set up. I've compiled programs on there. I've run through sample code. It works. I got the COM ports all good. And from my understanding, the difference between Code Warrior and ASDM IDE is primarily just the include syntax, maybe some memory locations, but it's all readdressable anyway, and also just the interrupt vectors and how those are handled. And I don't want to spend an extra $200 if you get my drift.
Okay, so, I definitely understand that. So it's okay. Give me a second. Okay, let me. So I do believe the two IDE is just kind of like doing a similar thing, except the IO might be different. I mean, not the IO, like the visual might be different. But about the syntax, it should be rather similar, or
yeah, the actual assembly is the same
because we're working with the same processor. At least it's a different variant, but it should be a similar structure here. So I would say, as far as my understanding, because this is actually also my first time to work in this model of the processor. I used to work in the ARM processor, the STM processor. So I would say most of the part will be identical, and the thing you will learn from the software might be identical as well. So let's just keep using the Code Warrior for now. And for the future lab, in terms of the lab design, it should be work on both IDE, and it should be also only focused on the assembly code itself instead of the environment we're using. So I'll say you can good to keep the board right now, and let's just follow along the lab section. And if we encounter any problem in the future, let's see if we have any way to get around it. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Professor, I have a question. I think a lot of us have only 5 files that are in that folder. Either can I screen? Can I share my screen?
What folder did you just mention?
Yeah, the folder you had said. So the first one, that PL 2303.
Okay, so let me take a look. I think I still have that one with me right now. So it should be under this one. So after you extract it, it should look like this, right? Except the zip file.
Hold on, let me pull it up. I don't think I haven't extracted it because I wasn't sure. Up above, there's a extract all, or we can click an individual file. So I wasn't sure which.
So just please go ahead and extract all. And after you've done so, you should have like the 5 file over here. And you just need to follow the installation wizard, which is, I believe you have is the exe file. Click on it, and it should be guiding you to finish like basically the rest of the part of the installation. Okay, let me also see, do we have some question in the chat here? Okay. So I have a question here. It says that our labs due the same day. So no, it's not gonna do at the same day. So usually I will assign, like the lab is kind of like, you can think of it as an assignment, but you can have your chance to have it done during the lab section, because we haven't put any future lab right now, but at least you can learn from the lab one. We actually list out a few kind of like question answering or like requirement to do in the assembly code. And you do have to turn in those the respond to those questions, but you don't have to. But usually the due date is going to be 1 week after the first time we introducing the lab. So we can just kind of make sure that you guys can have some time to at least maybe bring it home. If you're not able to have it done in the lab session, you can at least bring it home, have it done, and then upload it. And I'm sorry that I haven't introduced that, because we have a kind of like abrupt start for the lab section. But basically, what I expect from you guys to turn in is going to be either if the assignment is actually kind of like asking some, some like concept question. For example, what is this memory and what is this kind of memory? What is the difference between those two? You do need to write a short answer about each of the question that is that type. But for other coding question, for example, if I kind of like setting a requirement, write an assembly program to do this requirement fitting that requirement, in that case, you don't need to write any, extra report. You just need to include the code you just finished, and with the proper comments, which I will guide you to how to use comments in, I believe it's in next week. We're probably not going to do that in this week. So just your code with your comments, and that should be fine. Okay, so expect 2 types of question. If it's kind of like a concept answering question, you do need to list out what is the question and what is your response to it. And if the lab is asking you to build an assembly question with certain requirement or perform any kind of function, you just need to turn in the code itself with the comment to show that you actually know what you're writing. Okay, and the place for you to submit all of your work is going to be on Beachboard, and you can actually navigate to there's going to be a Dropbox section here. So I believe I already, or probably, okay, I haven't set up any folder there, but once the today's section done, I will set up a lab 1 folder over there. And the due date, because I think today we actually have a kind of like a bad start here, so I'm not guaranteed that we are able to finish everything. So I'll say we will have a little bit longer than usual time for due date for at least the first lab. So don't worry about a due date, and let's just make sure that we can have it done, like everyone can have it done and at least learn something from the class, right?